everyone from TNA. It's Mike Tenay and Don West welcoming you to this very special edition of Impact featuring the most memorable pay-per-view matches of 2008. Tonight you will see Kurt Angle go one-on-one against Samoa Joe. Plus, Awesome Kong takes on Gail Kim and the phenomenal AJ Styles versus the Icon Sting.
Plus, later on tonight, right here in the Impact Zone, the TNA Tag Team Championships will be on the line as the Latin American Exchange take on Beer Money Incorporated. But let's kick things off with the 2008 Comeback Match of the Year, as it was the highly anticipated return of the King of the Mountain, Jeff Jarrett, as he took on Kurt Angle at Bound for Glory. Let's show you what happened in the match. This is where the referee got knocked out. Then the wicked chair shot that you can feel all the way through the arena in Chicago. The shot to Jarrett's head. It looked like it was over. And then the mandible claw came into effect.
Over the head of...
Still to come, it's the TNA 2008 Match of the Year, inside the 6 sides of steel. But up next, get ready for the TNA 2008 Knockout Championship Match of the Year.
Gail Kim was the first ever TNA Knockout Champion, but her toughest competition arrived in the form of Awesome Kong.
Gail Kim, a pioneer of the TNA Women's Division and first ever Knockout Champion. Awesome Kong, the most feared monster in the Knockouts Division. These two women held an uncanny hatred for one another. Their first fight was a vicious battle. Gail would be lucky enough to survive as champion. The war had just begun. At Final Resolution, the rematch was set. It appeared that there was no way Awesome Kong could lose. But miraculously, Gail would again walk away with the title. The next week on an Impact rematch, history was made. Let's take a look back at the Women's Knockout Championship match of 2008. Some are drop-dead gorgeous. Some are just drop-dead. Some will break your heart. Some will break your head. Some are supernovas who forever shine. No divas here. Just girls who dare. Those who cross the line. Cross the line with the knockouts of TNA Impact.
Still to come, TNA's first championship match of 2009. It's LAX versus Beer Money Inc. But up next, it's the 2008 TNA Match of the Year inside the 6 sides of steel.
Every year, TNA presents an event that is so unique. It's unlike anything that you've ever seen. It's Lockdown, where every match is contested in the 6 sides of steel. Tonight from Boston, Massachusetts, it's Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle.
Not only is the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line, but the career of Samoa Joe. As he said, if he doesn't beat Kurt Angle tonight, then he is retiring from professional wrestling. He just feels like he's put so much effort in his career to get to this point that if he can't walk out of there the World Heavyweight Champion, then it's over for him.
You'll notice that Kurt Angle is not wearing his wrestling boots. We talked to Frank Trigg, his MMA-style advisor, and Trigg tells us this is to help Angle defend against ankle locks and other leg submissions. By the same token, Samoa Joe has trained with the UFC's Marcus Davis for this match. Both men are ready because there's so much at stake.
You can see these guys feeling each other out, and as Samoa Joe went to grab the fingers, Kurt Angle just put the kick to the leg. You can look at that expression in Joe's face. If it's MMA style he wants, then it's MMA style he's going to get tonight.
The match I had with Joe at Lockdown for the TNA World Heavyweight title was one of the most physical matches I had. Everybody knows that Joe has experience in ground and pound in MMA. So having that MMA-style match with Joe, I knew that it would be really tough. Do I have a lot of respect for Joe? No. Going into that match, I wanted to beat the living hell out of him.
You know, as far as me and Kurt Angle at Lockdown, I mean, it was two men who had something to prove, and we wanted to see who the biggest dog in the yard was. And that day, Kurt learned that it was me.
Angle so impressive as he shoots in, takes down Joe, and then tries to get those shots, those punches, those forearms in. But notice how well Samoa Joe is blocking the offense of Kurt Angle.
Well, Samoa Joe also able to get over there and get his hands on the ropes. One thing about the six sides of steel, though, it is just so unforgiving. It really is the great equalizer. It's something that when it comes into play can turn a match around that quickly. You have to always be aware of it, because if you find yourself going face first in the six sides of steel, it's like hitting a wall of metal, a wall that these guys describe as unbearable pain.
I think the six sides of steel, they're wild. It's a wild match, and I think it's unique in that only the very best athletes can really prosper in there. Six sides of steel, for example, would not have been a good match for me, when it came to like pulling my own body weight and suspending in air. Maybe not a strong point. So I love watching guys do things that I could not do, and that is definitely the case in the six sides of steel.
The six sides of steel is so dangerous is because you have so many things that you can do in that ring. There's not just four sides, there's six, many more options. It's one of the most dangerous matches that you can actually be in.
Anytime you're in a cage environment, I call it kind of the ultimate test, because there's no excuses. It's you and your opponent in the ring. Two of you are going to walk in and one of you is going to walk out. And for a lot of people, it's a very intimidating type of thing. But for me, I thrive in those situations. There's no excuses. We've peeled away everything. It's me versus you, man against man, and we're going to find out who the better man is.
Samoa Joe, the challenger. Kurt Angle, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And not only does Samoa Joe look to become TNA World Title holder for the very first time, you also realize, Don, in the back of the mind of Samoa Joe, he has to be thinking about gaining revenge, about gaining payback, because the 18-month winning streak, the undefeated streak of Samoa Joe, when he started here in TNA, it was derailed by Kurt Angle.
I'll tell you what, it's one of the greatest rivalries that I've ever seen. These guys have just been on a crash course against each other from the beginning. And, you always look at their styles and you think to yourself, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, who's better? Who's the man now? And right now in this cage, they're trying to prove it.
As you know, Kurt rededicated himself to decided that he wanted to give it his best showing. Trained with some good people, but so did I. I had Marcus Davis, accomplished UFC fighter. Some of my good boys out of LA Boxing, and we figured stuff out, man. We got a good regimen set up, and we got ready for anything Kurt could have thrown at us.
I went in there, and all I wanted to do was beat the hell out of Joe. That was my goal. So my mindset training for it was, I was seeing red the whole time. All I wanted to do is go in there, get Joe down, beat the hell out of him, and make him tap.
Angle wears Joe down. You saw the key lock, and Joe gets the rope break. Kurt unleashes a vicious offense, started with the knee, and then punctuated with punches, rights and lefts to the head of the challenger, Samoa Joe.
I tell you what, Kurt Angle just relentless with those blows. As you can see, Samoa Joe just seems to be out of sync as Kurt Angle in total control of the situation, holding on to the neck, taking out the oxygen, beating Joe in a game that you figured Joe would have the advantage of.
Imperative here for Joe to get back up to his feet, to get back to the vertical base. And he does. And now it's his opportunity to gain a little bit of distance and to have those punches become more effective. As he comes off the ropes, however, Angle is prepared. He takes him overhead with the release suplex.
The strength of Kurt Angle so evident. Here he goes. 1, 2. Not enough as Samoa Joe gets the hold of the ropes. Great ring awareness, knowing where you're at all time. And you have to be that way when you're inside the six sides of steel, and especially when you're in a match with the Olympic gold medalist.
Kurt Angle, absolutely relentless in his offense. And you got to give him credit, because up to this point in the match, his game plan, his strategy has been perfect.
Samoa Joe is an incredible athlete at the same time. Very difficult to get down, very difficult to keep him down, and very difficult to inflict pain on. So I have to add more intensity into my matches when I wrestle Joe. And I know when I do wrestle Joe, not only do I want to beat him, but I want to hurt him too.
Joe's going to try and use his power to lift Kurt up into the air, but you can see that Angle reaches across and grabs the rope, gets the safety of the rope break. Joe goes down to a knee just to try and catch his breath, and Kurt's right on him.
I mean, Samoa Joe's just taking so much from Kurt Angle. Oh, what a wicked uppercut, but Joe fights back with punches. That's what you got to do. You just got to forget everything you're going through, but Kurt Angle takes out the leg.
Yes, Kurt weakens the leg, the knee of Samoa Joe. You know he's trying to set him up for some kind of a leg or ankle submission. It's the TNA World Heavyweight Championship of Kurt Angle versus the career of Samoa Joe. And check out the leg lock, the submission move that Angle has applied to the challenger.
I mean, Kurt Angle's just got it cinched in as Joe just trying to roll him over. And Joe does. And now you can see him using his arms. And now he's applying pressure as Kurt Angle's in pain. Kurt Angle's screaming, but he grabs the ropes.
The crowd here at Lockdown in Boston really appreciating the effort of these two warriors. And with so much at stake, Joe putting his future, his entire career on the line, and Kurt Angle in an effort to defend the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And it's pretty obvious by watching his strategy right here, what he's doing. Look at him totally focusing on the leg and on the knee of Samoa Joe.
I mean, he's been doing it from the start of this match. Any opportunity he can, he goes after the knee, the leg, the ankles. Thing to take Joe from that big base. And now you can see reaching around, grabbing around the neck, just trying to squeeze that windpipe to keep Joe from getting air. Samoa Joe, I mean, this has just been such a battle for him as Kurt Angle has just kind of had the advantage from the start.
And Kurt Angle's offense in this match, so well-rounded. Now working on the head, but Joe able to stop it. Series of elbow shots. But when he comes off the ropes, Angle was going to try and suplex him, but Joe had an answer, and then he hit the decapitation clothesline.
I'll tell you what, it was like you hit him in the forehead and just turned him upside down. What a shot. You could just feel the anger in Joe, the frustration. It's what he needed, that kind of an impactful move to take Kurt Angle out of it so that he could get some breath back and get himself on an even playing field.
At the same time, it's pretty obvious that Samoa Joe is still favoring the leg and the knee that was weakened by Kurt Angle earlier in this match. First up to his feet, Angle, but barely. Joe's ready. What a forearm shot. And another.
I mean, he's just using what brought him to the dance. That pure power that makes Samoa Joe such a vicious killer. And then he goes up and takes that knee, puts it right to the chin, and you can feel this thing turning around. Samoa Joe goes back, but nice counter by Kurt Angle. Oh, he got the foot up high. What a kick.
Muscle buster on the way. Gonna try and take Angle out of the corner. No, but Kurt rolls through right into an ankle lock. Oh, this isn't any ankle lock, however. You're putting an ankle lock on the powerful Samoa Joe.
I am working on different ways of people not being able to get out of my ankle lock. I think Samoa Joe's the reason why. If anybody's been able to endure it more than anyone else, it's been Joe. Joe is so powerful that when I get that lock in, if he ends up rolling out of it or kicking out of it, I can't hold on. So it's one of those things when I grab it, I need to sink it in, throw my legs in, lock it, and keep him dead right in the middle of the ring. And the next time I wrestle him, that's what's going to happen.
Look at the power of Samoa Joe as he just slams Kurt Angle to the mat. 1, 2. Do we have a new world champion? No, we don't.
Angle barely able to get the shoulder up before the 3 count from referee Rudy Charles. Angle right back on him again and rakes the eyes. The shortcut by Kurt Angle is quickly derailed. Joe caught him with the boot, and Joe's going to go with the offense here. There's the powerbomb. Pin.
1, 2. Kurt Angle at the last second, but look at this. Joe just goes with the momentum, and now he's got the submission move cinched in and pulling back. Look at him put the pressure on the legs of Kurt Angle.
And at the same time, he's got his knee in the back of Angle. Kurt trying to fight through the pressure. Referee Rudy Charles checking to see if Angle's going to tap.
Oh, Kurt Angle's got his hand out. Unbelievable to make Kurt Angle tap. Inside the 6 sides of steel, Kurt just crawling to the rope. He's got his finger on it, but Joe pulls him back to the middle.
Oh, what must this be like? To be trapped, to be tortured in the STF by Samoa Joe.
Samoa Samoa Joe got me in a Boston Crab and turned it into an SDF. It seemed like forever. Joe didn't just throw that on me and just take it easy on me. He really threw his weight into it. He tried to break me in half. And when I look back at that match, I highly regret that I even enabled him to get either one of those moves in. Now that I know that Joe has more arsenal than I thought he had, I'm well aware of what Joe can do and how dangerous he is. So next time we get in that ring, it won't happen again.
Angle fighting through the torture, fighting through the pain, and at the same time that Joe has the submission hold on, you see that Kurt is able to roll through, and again he's got the grip with the ankle lock.
It's amazing how he can recover. I mean, it's why he's simply the greatest in the world, as he's able to somehow get through that pain, that excruciating pain that Joe was applying, and turn it into his favor, as he's got the ankle lock again. But look at Joe using that weight to his advantage, and he rolls Kurt over to him so he can get the grip on the face again.
Cranking on the head and on the neck of Angle. As you can see, the TNA World's Heavyweight Champion in trouble at this point, trying to fight through that pain, and Joe senses, realizes, here he's got the crossface applied. He's got the arm seized at the same time as he cranks on the neck of the champion.
Oh, pulling back, and Kurt Angle just trying to fight to get loose, trying to get his head loose so that he can get some kind of a grip to where he is. He's going to tap. Oh, he's now trying to pull the fingers loose. It's desperation on Kurt Angle's part.
It's all that Angle can do, and you see he just crawls and reaches across and gains the rope break that time. And boy, Samoa Joe has just been relentless with the submission moves, charging his Angle, but Joe's got him one more time, and now he's got the armbar.
I'll tell you what, Joe, just the reaction that he had as Kurt came flying at him. Joe was actually looking at the ref and reaches in and got that armbar applied, and Kurt now has got to wonder what he can do, as this guy is now dominating the Olympic gold. Now, wait a minute. Unbelievable. Kurt counters it into the Angle slam.
Cover. Leg hook. Here's two. No. What a recovery that was by Kurt Angle. Think of the position that he was in. The crossface applied, the arm seized, able to reverse it, catch Joe completely unaware, and then almost get the pin and almost retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. He's got to go right back to what made him famous, as Angle once again goes back to the ankle lock and check out the ring positioning, dead center in the middle.
Kurt, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to cripple a man. He knows how to hurt a person. And, that ankle lock doesn't get any easier to take. I mean, over the months and months of having it locked on you. So, I mean, there's several moments in there, but I knew I couldn't. I mean, that was my night. That was my opportunity. And, I'd kind of fallen short on a couple previous to that. And I was going to fall short on this night.
Samoa Joe trying to grab the ropes. If he taps, then he has to retire. And you can see he's not quite ready to do that, but Kurt Angle seems to, wait a minute, Joe able to grab the shorts, pull Angle down, and look at him. He's got the Coquina clutch, that rear naked choke.
Submission move applied. Angle fighting through the pain. And he's got the referee grabbed by the shirt. He's got Rudy Charles, and he's hanging on for dear life, while Samoa Joe is trying to squeeze the life out of Angle with the rear naked choke.
It's just desperation, but Kurt Angle able to use the referee to pull him towards the ropes. Unreal. But you gotta do what you have to do in a situation like that. And that's all he could think of. He was just reaching and trying to clutch on anything.
Just shows you what a high-stakes match this is, with the TNA World Heavyweight title and Samoa Joe's career at stake. Gonna go for the Angle slam one more time, but it's blocked, and there goes Kurt Angle face first into the steel cage.
I'll tell you, you could just feel that impact. There's the super kick right to the jaw, as Samoa Joe now getting the momentum, feeling it, trying to set Kurt Angle up, trying to apply that muscle buster. Here he goes. He's got it up.
Out of the corner, Angle in trouble. There it is. Muscle buster. Joe cover. One, two. Got it.
Got a new world champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new TNA Heavyweight Champion of the world, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe.
For the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, I mean, it meant the world to me. I mean, it's my first ever, world championship for TNA, and kind of being the standard bearer, being the man, being the main player in the game. I mean, that's what I worked so hard for. That's what I'm continuing to work for, and hopefully we'll be regaining that back soon.
At Lockdown 2008, you see the presentation of the championship belt. UFC's Marcus Davis hands the title to the world heavyweight champion Samoa Joe. What a night it has been, and what a year 2008 has been for TNA. That confrontation between Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe at Lockdown, not only the 2008 match of the year, but one of the greatest matches of all time.
Coming up next, we'll take a look back as AJ Styles, one of the members of the front line, takes on Sting of the Main Event Mafia. Plus, the TNA Tag Team Championships will be on the line. And we'll take a special look at the greatest TNA moments of 2008.
Up next, it's the first TNA Championship match of 2009. LAX takes on Beer Money Inc. for the TNA World Tag Team Championship.
The two most dominant, the two strongest tag teams in TNA 2008 had to be LAX and Beer Money Incorporated.
2008 will go down in history as one of the greatest years ever for TNA's elite tag team division. It was a year that saw LAX return to glory as the TNA World Tag Team Champions. 2008 was also a year that saw the rise of a new force in TNA, Beer Money Inc., formed by the merger of the cowboy James Storm and Wall Street's own Robert Roode. This conglomerate has been collecting dividends in TNA's elite tag team division since their inception. They have dismantled each and every opponent with the combination of the cowboy's grit and the finesse of the Roode gold standard. At Hard Justice, they captured the TNA World Tag Team titles by defeating LAX and have been in control ever since. The feud between these two teams has been legendary. And now, with a new year upon us, they will look to continue their war into the future. Tonight on Impact, the World Tag Team Championship is on the line as Beer Money Inc. defends the titles against the Latin American Exchange.
And what an accomplishment this is for Kurt Angle to go into the backyard of New Japan Pro Wrestling and retain the IWGP title.
No time for a suitcase.
I'm gonna take you top, or I want to kill you. You understand?
That's where we're going now.
Canadian Destroyer just screams it. Oh my God, we got a new X Division champion.
Sunday, April the 13th, 2008 will always be remembered as the night that Samoa Joe became TNA World Heavyweight Champion. The era of Awesome Kong begins tonight.
You gotta be kidding me!
Biggest upset in TNA history.
The next time you stick that thermometer up my ass, there's gonna be hell to pay, you son of a bitch.
Oh yeah! Now the man that you're gonna marry tonight is not Jay, it should be me. What the hell did we just see? The minister just pronounced AJ Styles and Karen Angle as man and wife from the world famous Hard Rock in Las Vegas. TNA is live in HD. Suicide comes alive at Final Resolution.
I believe you're a shareholder in this wrestling company. You just headbutted your new boss.
You don't want no part of this pain that I've been wearing for the last 2 years.
Fueled by 2 years of pain, Jeff Jarrett is able to defeat Kurt Angle.
Why is Sting doing this?
The single most important thing that separates the men from the boys is
the main event mafia.
It is called the TNA Legends Championship.
History repeats itself again. 2008 at Bound for Glory in Chicago. Sting becomes TNA World Champion.
TNA talks about crossing the line. Well, what I want to know is, do you have enough balls to cross that line and come out here and stand with me and Joe? A war is what you want. A war is what you got. Nobody messes with the main event mafia.
When it comes to the main event mafia, this is their world, and we're playing under their rules.